our next speaker. Our next speaker is the Director General of the Hellenic Federation of Enterprises. He's a Greek who has studied abroad. He has studied in London. He has studied in University of London. He has been advisor to the Prime Minister in the past, and he now advises the Greek industries and the Greek businesses as a Director General of the Federation of Enterprises. Mr. Chatzopoulos, thank you for being with us today, and we are all eager to listen to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Christos, for the invitation. Good morning to everybody on my side, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I would like to thank the organizers, Ethos Media, for the invitation, and of course all of you watching the event. By the way, Christos, apart from all that you just referred to, I'm also the third lawyer in a row speaking about the issue, so I don't know what this means about business, because in my view, corporate governance is not only about abiding by the law, but it's also about a culture in the businesses. But let me start about saying that part of our raison d'etre for us at the Hellenic Federation of Enterprises is a transition of our economy from what it is today and from what it has been for the past decades to an economy which is more to facilitate foreign investments in Greece, which of course includes investments in Greek companies, which are smaller or bigger in scale. And this of course includes the listed companies, but also the companies which have not gone public. I'm not going to refer to all the parameters leading to fulfilling such objectives. But since we're here to discuss about corporate governance, we believe that part of this transition exercise for our economy is to build an ecosystem of companies which are well organized and they have the culture and the decision-making mechanisms in order not only to be law-abiding, but mainly through being law-abiding and taking more initiatives than the regulatory framework prescribes, to be trustworthy, able to grow, ready to compete in the global markets. From this point of view, corporate governance has a dual scope. It combines two different aspects which can significantly help companies to be trustworthy in the eyes not only of the regulator, but also in the eyes of the society, the international markets, and of course, potential investors. First, there is the more narrow aspect, which has to do with compliance. At the same time, there is a broader aspect, that of building effective ways of growing reputable companies as part of our values and culture regarding how a company is managed and how it makes its decisions. It goes without saying that compliance, abidance by the law of a company to a set of corporate governance rules and the laws is the starting point for them. Rules that increase accountability, level playing fields, transparency and responsibility. These are attributes necessary for the trust and the credibility that comes with it. And they are all, of course, sine qua non conditions for an investment-friendly environment and the opportunities that stem from it. Here in Greece, I have to observe, we are in a period of alignment of objectives on the issue. And I mean the government, the regulatory authorities involved, and of course the business community itself. We are trying to leave behind many mismanagement cases of the past, and important steps are being made lately for both the application of new rules and the dissemination of the principles of corporate governance to the Greek business world. This has been a key objective for our organization, for SEV, already since 2012. Together with the Athens Stock Exchange, we created the Hellenic Corporate Governance Council and the first code of conduct for public companies a year later. And today, with the invaluable participation of the Hellenic Bank Association and the Hellenic Fund Asset Management Association, we are taking the next step, revising the code of conduct to reflect the changes in the legislation. Legislation is also changing, as you already heard. A lot could be said on our side about its effectiveness, the potential future consultation, improvements that can be made, etc. But I'm sticking to the very fact that the country is trying to make serious progress on improving the framework here. We would still prefer a framework even more closely linked to internationally established practices, simpler, making compliance easier and more flexible, but nevertheless, it's a concrete step in the right direction, as Ms. Lazaropoulou already mentioned. Establishing and maintaining high standards of governance is a key prerequisite for healthy relations with investors, clients, and of course the society. But equally important is to be able to express your innovation as a company, the ability to maintain workforce that is and feels as a stakeholder with investments and a level playing field. The combination of these factors is the only way if we want to maintain internationally competitive businesses and sustainable job creation that can attract talent from the international markets. The second aspect of corporate governance goes beyond compliance. It broader relates to a business environment that is conducive for investments and concerns the way businesses perceive themselves and their role in the society. In today's environment with the coronavirus, but also before that, businesses have been called upon to constantly adapt, build their resilience, and innovate in order to remain competitive and to survive. In my view, corporate governance should also be viewed as a mechanism of decision-making processes that allow firms to manage their affairs in a way that they increase value and resilience, build investor relations, and access to finance. And an organizational tool which can help not just public companies, but all the companies that seek flexible and adaptable processes that will improve their innovation potential, export capabilities, and of course, scaling up. To do that in times when responsible investing is becoming more and more a reality, the objective for us should be to prompt Greek companies to have eyes wide open to this trend, which is at the same time a big opportunity for the country to reintroduce our economy, its economy to the world. And here there are no laws that will make us do so, not as yet at least. It's of course the need to future access to finance, but it's also other things like our determination to become more sustainable, to protect the environment, to respect the people that work for us, but also to have a greater positive social impact. And it's a good thing. We sincerely believe that investors increasingly assess stocks in their portfolios based on non-financial data. But going there is not going to be easy. It needs a lot of education and openness to the new world on the business's behalf. And I hope that today's discussion will be a very good opportunity to articulate and spread these messages. For us in Greece, this takes added effort, and that is because we have the highest percentage of very small companies in Europe, while the medium-sized ones represent only around half of what they do among the other member states. The many small Greek usually family-run businesses are increasingly realizing the importance of effective decision-making processes, which is emerging more and more in today's very, very competitive environment all around the world. And if they don't, then our role is to disseminate the message and help them to go there. So this is another challenge we have in front of us. But this is supposed to be just a greeting. So let me thank you again all for this slot. And I can assure you that the Hellenic Federation of Enterprises will work further with all our partners, with all our stakeholders for more and better corporate governance in the Greek companies as the best way to ensure our future prosperity. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexandros. Thank you, Mr. Chatzopoulos. Thank you, Director General of the Hellenic Federation of Enterprises.